Welcome back to the Drunken Irish Chef. I haven't been around in a while, been quite busy preparing for some upcoming events where we drink whiskey every day because whiskey a day keeps the doctor away. Where's that in apple? No, Irish, that's hot toddies, and so we'll roll with that. Day without whiskey is not a day at all. With that note, we are doing what you guys have all been requesting, pho. It's a Vietnamese soup with brisket, oxtails. It's got Thai basil, ginger. We'll go through the whole thing. All right, so I lied. You guys all have been requesting. I just feel like cooking it because it's fucking yummy. And I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick. Typically a Vietnamese pho, P-H-O, pho. Shit, I was just confusing myself. It's pho, not pho. Jeez, I Americanized it already. Well, anyways, pho. It's a good warming soup. It usually takes about 6 hours to make minimum, boiling up to 8 max. I'm gonna try a pressure cooker today. I figure we can do about the same justice in about an hour and a half. So we'll do that. Kathy will be home about 5 to surprise her. It's one of her favorite soups, and we'll go from there. So on that note, we're gonna start off with brisket and oxtails. Now, because it's a soup, we're gonna boil the meats and stuff using the pressure cooker to break it down. The oxtails and stuff, gelatinous, it'll release some of the marrow. It'll make a nice stickiness to like a fat stick to your mouth, lips. I know it sounds gross, but it's good. You're supposed to add beef tendon. Kathy doesn't like beef tendon. And that's really what gives that gummy on your lips. It's just part of it. But happy wife, happy life. So it's also a very clear broth soup. So we're gonna actually boil the meat first in about 5 quarts of water. I've got a small pressure cooker. It's about 6 quarts, so I have to count for the meat and some other stuff that we'll go through later. And once we get that in, we'll boil for about 10 or 15 minutes. It's really not to break the meat down, especially not in 10 or 15 minutes, but it's to take any impurities off, maybe little bits of bone and, crap cuts on there. We'll strain it out, and then we'll start with the soup. So let's get ahead and get to that. So we got the boiling water going. I'm gonna drop in the oxtail without burning myself. Ooh, that's warm. Slippery little suckers. All right, that in there. Well, man, I hope there's enough room for the brisket. Now, brisket, if you don't know what brisket is, you're not Irish, because brisket is a staple of Irish cooking. More or less get this fucking boiled meat, and it's easy to make, and it's yummy. That in Texas, brisket basically is your barbecue go-to meat. It is fantastic. Gets a little pricey if you get bigger cuts. But yeah, that's your basic. Hear about burnt ends. Every barbecue joint's gonna serve brisket. It's a great cut of meat, especially when you slow cook it. Meat breaks apart. So let's let that cook down. We'll get that up to a boil, cook that for 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll continue on. So now that we got that cooking for 15 minutes now, and take it off the heat. Ooh, yeah, I think we might need some mitts here. A little warm. Hopefully that takes off the impurities I was talking about earlier. Let's get this here. We're gonna drain that into the pressure cooker, straining out any maybe little bits of bone or anything that might have fallen off. All the little bits of fat and such that you see floating around in the water, especially if you've cooked corned beef and stuff before. Now we'll take the Let me set this aside for a minute. See, and then we end up with a nice clear broth. Hopefully I'm not steaming you up there. Got a slight tinge to it for that fine meat flavor. Oh, jeez. I had to use like down my shirt. This thing tipped. Don't be a pervert. All right, so also, I'm gonna run this under water. Let's get these rinsed down a little bit. Make sure any little bits are off. Transfer them back. Ooh, that's hot. Back into the pot. Woo, doggy. That is warm. Shut that off. We'll transfer them back into the pot. And then we'll start with the seasoning and vegetables that go into the pho. So let's get that over there before we forget. We'll put this back over on the heat and we will start up on the seasoning. And this is where all the magic starts. Yeah. All right, so now that we're gonna start seasoning the water, we're gonna use 10 star anise. If you don't know what star anise is, the little guys right here. It's basically, if you ever had black licorice, that's what it tastes like. Star anise or what's that, Sambuca. Haha, better reference, Sambuca. Another sip of whiskey. I'm gonna do one whole ginger. I just peeled it on each side, just to allow the flavors to seep out a little bit more. We're not gonna grind it up. These are just whole to flavor the stock itself. One cinnamon stick. You know what, I'll just throw them in as we talk. Do that. You see, get the star anise. Then we need about a tablespoon of the coriander, whole coriander seed, not ground. Smells good. So 1 tablespoon of coriander. 1 tablespoon. What we got here? I don't have rock sugar, so you can substitute rock sugar with like 1 clump of rock sugar with brown sugar. You're not going to sweeten it up. It's not a sweet dish. But so like 1 tablespoon, maybe a little bit more of brown sugar. So I'll do a little bit more. 1 tablespoon. Let me see here. We have the 5 quarts of water going, stock's going. We're going to start prepping the toppings and stuff for it, which is going to consist of onion, or green onions, or you can use chives. Chives is just as good if you have them. We have cilantro, lime. We got a jalapeno, which is, to each his own. If you like the jalapeno, you can add a little bit more, a little less. What else? The Thai ginger. Here we go. Let's do the. We're gonna put the fish sauce in now. That goes in before we close the pot up. This one's brand new because I ran out of my last one, so let's reopen this one. Let's open it. Man, I would not make it on Food Network talking. I think I repeat myself all the time. I think that's all right. Let me see. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God, that's good. But very, very salty. So we're not adding salt to the water. This would be pretty much it. So we're gonna add about, I would say start with 6 tablespoons of fish sauce, which is very salty. I'm right around the 8 or 9 mark. So I'm gonna do it with you. I'm gonna do 6 first. I can always add the last 2 or 3 if I want them. So we'll count those out. This might take a minute here. There's 1. In the meantime, we also have, hold on a second, we're gonna have to rehydrate 2. Have to rehydrate our vermicelli rice noodles. So we'll put those in cold water first, let them sit in the bowl. for a little bit, and we put them in boiling water for about, literally about 3 or 4 seconds. Anything more than that, that's 3. Anything more than that, you just start overcooking it. It's real fast. 4, 5, 6. Now I'm gonna go 7 for now, then we'll go from there. So there's 7. We're gonna take the pot itself. Let me bring it over here. But burn everything here. All right, so the whole purpose of a pressure cooker is to create steam and pressure. Obviously, that's why it's called a pressure cooker, into the pot itself. Oops, shit! I turned it off. Basically, forcing the cooking times, the pressure, the steam, the moisture through the meat, breaks it down faster, and it allows you to cook. Like this is supposed to be 6 hours. It'll do it in about an hour and a half. Let's put this on somehow. There it goes. Now it's locked in. All right, now it's locked in. We're gonna count down for an hour and a half. Hey, Alexa, set a timer for 90 minutes.
1 hour and 30 minutes, starting now.
Smart ass, thinks she knows everything. Anyways, we're gonna start from here. Cancel.
You are 1.5 miles, 2.41 kilometers.
Alexa, cancel. The hell is she talking about? Maybe we'll like it anyways. All right, so we're gonna go start prepping the rest of the stuff. Start with a white onion. You're gonna leave the root on, well, where the root grew from. Cut the end off. Now it lays flat. You can work with it a little bit more, not roll around, cut your fingers. Cut that in half. And shite. I meant to put most of this onion into the crock pot, the steamer. So let's back that up for a second before it gets too hot and I can't open it. So let's cut that real quick. So what happens when you start doing too many things at once? Let's peel that top layer off. Oh. All right. Hopefully I don't cry like a little baby for you guys. I need to hurry this video up too. Nobody wants to sit here and listen to my ass drinking and doing this all night long. This is gonna be, so I need, actually no, I'm gonna cut one of them in half. I'm gonna save that for the soups itself. This one can go in whole, 1.5 whole. So I'll just basically cut it into quarters and we'll take these and just throw them right in. Remember, we're only seasoning the soup. This is not staying in the soup. Oh, I'm gonna put the lid back on. Jeez. All right. I got the meat in there, the tendon, the ginger root, starting this, onions, coriander, cinnamon stick, brown sugar. You know, let's add, I know I said about the salt, but you gotta do a little pinch of salt. Not much. Let's just do a pinch because you can always add it at the end. But I hate for it to be, salt is really not even a seasoning, it's a enhancer. All it does is enhance the natural flavors that are there. So people call it seasoning, it's not a seasoning. It's an enhancer. So we'll throw that away. In the meantime, we're gonna cut this onion up. And this one, you want the onions, because this is gonna go on the top of the soup raw, so you want this to be really thin. So we'll get as thin as I can here. Pull the fingers back. I can't go faster, I'll end up losing the damn digit. I don't think whiskey and knives are probably the best combination. After this, we'll cut the scallions up. All right, so that's good enough. So let's slide this aside on my little home goods cutting board. Got 4 of those little guys for, I think it was like $5. Great deal. Let's do the scallions. Remember, these are only toppers, so these will not go in the soup until the very end, until you basically plate it up. It's just her and I, so that should be good enough. We'll stick that away later. So I'll put that aside. Let's get some cilantro. And with cilantro, you don't peel the leaves off. A lot of the flavor, or 90% of the flavor, is actually in the stem itself. So don't go through picking leaves off like maybe you know, some people do with parsley and such. The flavor is actually in the stem. So this is just a rough cut again. And it's just her and I, so we'll just do that. That should be fine for now. It's okay if you mix them. I mean, unless you want to adjust them, so I'm gonna move that off a little bit to the side. Cut the limes up. You're basically gonna cut these into quarters, and then cut them in half again, because all they're gonna be is for pinches. Squeeze as much as you want. It's all a matter of taste. We also have at the end, let me know, let's do the jalapeno. Hopefully, you know, the heat from the jalapenos is actually from the seed, not the pepper itself, and the membrane that's inside, the white membrane that goes along the side. So you can't really tell how hot this is gonna be, but I know Kathy likes it, but if it's too hot, nothing I can do about it. So we just kind of have to cut a little bit here. Also, ooh, that smells hot though. Also, if you want a little bit more heat, which I think everybody loves, sriracha, it's a nice chili sauce. Hoisin, that is definitely a key. It's up to taste, but I'd say probably a good 1 to 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. And then you're gonna put in Thai basil. Thai basil is not like your Italian sweet basil. It's more or less for flavoring. I mean, you can eat it. I don't. You basically throw it in at the end to flavor your. Actually, a lot of this stuff kind of fell off the stems. You throw it off. It's tougher than regular basil. It's it smells very aromatic. It's got a great taste, but you're definitely not putting this basil into like something with a spaghetti sauce or such. So we'll get some of these. These are good flavoring for the soup at the ends. You kind of flavor your stuff, and I pull them out. I mean, you can eat them. There's no big deal. I just choose not to. We'll constitute as we get closer to the 1.5 hour mark. We'll start constituting, redoing the vermicelli rice noodles, rehydrating the rice noodles. And am I forgetting something? I'm trying to make this as quick as I can. We got the fish sauce. You can add more of that later. I can start cleaning up a little bit. We've got the toppers for the soup. I wish I had the Chinese bowls to make it more authentic. The noodles, we do that. That is cooking and breaking down. We'll do a little taste test, and then I guess we should be done. It's pretty much pho soup for home. Most people buy it out. We used to buy it all the time until we start making it. And no, fucker, it's not pho, it's pho. I can hear your ass. Don't mess in the comments. Pho soup. So let's let it go. In the magic of camera time, we'll show you next plating it and how it should look roughly. Thanks. All right, so it's just about time to build. The crock pot had finished. The pressure cooker is finished. Never open the pressure cooker right away. Obviously, it's called a pressure cooker because it builds pressure, and you can definitely get scalded and burned. I ran into the cold water until the pressure released. There's a pressure release valve until it was safe to do so. I pre-soaked the noodles. I'm gonna toss them into the hot water. I already shredded the brisket and oxtail, mixed it together for top of the soup. So we're gonna throw this noodles in literally, like I said, seconds. It's not gonna take very long. So let me start with that. All right, noodles are in. Kind of get this stuff out of the way, and I need thing of tongs that was there. Grab these ones for now, that's fine. So let me pull these out. Let me see. Right. Those are in. We strained out not just the meat where we shredded, but we also strained out all the coriander seeds, the star anise, onion. What else was in there? The cinnamon stick. So those have all been strained as well. Let's plate this. I don't have a Chinese bowls, but I have a nice white bowl. So let's start. All right, so actually, let me point the camera down, give you guys a better view of the build. So we have the noodles already stuck in there. Get a ladle for the broth. Oh, let me shut that noodles off. Oh shit, wrong button. So that was one ladle. Obviously, you had more or less, you know, whatever. You know, let's add. She likes a little more. Let's add a little bit more. So we added the broth and the noodles there. You want to throw on some white onions on top. You want a squeeze of lime. Of course, you can add or take away, however, you know, best suits your fancy there. You got some green onions, some cilantro, a couple slices of jalapeno, and some Thai basil for the top. Now let's get some shredded meat, which is the brisket, and also the oxtail. I've already chopped them both up, mixed them in. So put that on the side without making too much of a mess. And what else we forget? Oh, we got the hoisin sauce. Now my hand's dirty. I don't want to touch that. Put a little hoisin. It's about a teaspoon or so. And then add a tiny bit of sriracha. Just a little bit. A little extra flavor. You can add more lime. I like more lime in mine. But again, this is for her. So I think that should be it. I think that is your Vietnamese Thai soup. Pho soup. Not pho. I always look at myself. The camera's over here. Yeah, so that's about it. It's simple. You don't have to, if you have a pressure cooker, it's great. You do it in about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Very little prep work. Of course, you can always call the Vietnamese place on the street and get it. If you're not a big beef person, which is good, is chicken. Take a chicken breast or chicken thighs if you like the dark meat better. It's usually chicken breast though. Throw that in the soup and do that the same way as it just replaced the oxtail and the brisket. Or you can leave the oxtail in there for that little bit of beefy flavor. If you have pork bones, which don't really have meat, it's just you can buy them from the butcher. You can get, you know, like 3 pounds of pork bones for like $3 or $4. Throw those in there just to richen the stock up a little bit. Add your chicken and stuff. You know, different ways you can do it. But this is your traditional pho soup. And thanks for joining me again. Hopefully I kind of get back into making these videos. It's been a little bit. Like I said, I've been busy. Appreciate your time and peace out.